Testing, testing. We're looking to see if it comes up on the live stream.
Actually, yeah. So like after we've like greeted each other, if you want to go ahead and come on up and just kind of get situated, that would be perfect. Cool, cool. Thank you, gentlemen. Woohoo! I'm excited. I love this. I love getting percussion in on things. If I were not a pianist, I would have been a percussionist, I think, because it's just I'm just not coordinated enough for like a whole drum set. I can't quite do that, but it's hard. Ah, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. my gosh, yeah, so you're tinkering too. Ooh, I like that. Oh, fantastic.
I tried to do it about 3 years ago, and it got to the point where I was trying to program a computer chip, and I could not
Yeah.
get it to work.
Oh,
But then I
yeah.
realized this real thing that you all I had to do was grab an old used trashed out drum module from one of those kits,
Oh,
electronic drum kits, and
yes.
it's free.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So
Oh wow. You know, and that, if you're into a kind of like tinkery stuff, I just discovered like maybe a week ago, there's this YouTube channel, and this guy finds these like bizarre old instruments and synthesizers and stuff and pulls them apart because like I didn't even know like I didn't know you could tune those old analog synthesizers. Like he had one that was like it's supposed to be like a children's keyboard, not yeah, it's like a keyboard sort of thing from like Soviet era Russia. And like, trying to find how do you even work with this, like how do you get it in tune to play? It's very cool. If you're into this sort of thing, it's like
people who are just fanatic hobbyists for those old analog
yeah.
synthesizers. Yeah.
And I think that's really wonderful because it's making sure that this whole type of technology doesn't just like die out and get forgotten about.
Well, thanks to the hipster segment, we're never gone.
That's true because they're bringing it back. You and I need to talk tinkering stuff. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Analog synths are way more expensive than just like FM synthesis or the newer stuff. It's actually cheaper.
Yeah. Well, the new stuff I will say has gotten a lot better over the last like even just 5 to 10 years. But there's something just so charming about like the old stuff, even if it's kind of cruddy. But I got to get started with Prelude. But you and I should talk tinkering stuff sometimes because I love that. Thank you.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the long timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Hello and welcome to our friends joining us on the live stream today. You have found us during our 30 Days for the Earth, which we celebrate every April, and it's a time for us to recommit to caring for our earth and all creation. We have several programs this month to help you get more engaged with Throop and with our 30 Days for the Earth program. And if you're wondering, hey, what else is going on at this church? At the back of the sanctuary, you'll notice on the table we have a program and activity page, and feel free to take one after the service. And we would love you to join us for any and all of these. And immediately following the service today, we are having our celebratory ribbon cutting on our renovated accessible bathroom. Ta-da! Hooray! Yes, big thanks to all of you who donated. And I also want to give a special thank you to Wendy Wilson, who's in the back of the sanctuary. Wendy is a member and an architect, and she designed the bathroom renovation and chose all the beautiful finishes, and also showed up here so many times during the construction to meet with the contractor to make sure that every detail was followed. Wendy, thank you so much. And if you are new to us and you would like to stay connected, if you're in the room, you can fill out an info card. You'll find it in the pew back in front of you. Or if you're online, Taryn will drop in a link to our online guest book. And each one of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with the flame from our candles of hope and witness. May the light of our chalice challenge us to be curious and ask faithful questions. May we nurture love and compassion in our lives, seeing where we can give in our world. May our spirits soar, moving us to seek justice and equity in our relationships. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop was once and still is the home of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into seeking justice and equity for all. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And we continue entering into the worship space with our opening hymn, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky, number 301. In this hymnal, please rise as your body and spirit allow, number 301.
Touch the earth, reach the sky, walk on shores while spirits fly over the ocean, over the land. Our faith is a quest to understand. Touch the earth, reach the sky, children ask the reasons why. The answers show, and for our love they learn and grow. Touch the earth, reach the sky, all are born and all shall die. Life's a time, and in between, I'll follow a star and build a dream.
And turn to a neighbor and welcome them into worship.
Touch the earth, reach the sky, hug the laughter, feel the cry. What we see here, love we can give, know that there's millions to live. Touch the earth, reach the sky, soar with courage, flying high. Spirits joining as we fly to touch the earth and reach the sky. Spirits joining as we fly to touch the earth and reach the sky.
And one more touch of a hug and laughter, and now reach for the sky and reach for a pew. Yes. And with our responsive reading today, we return to a chant that some experienced the first Sunday in April. And we've got Michael and Richard on percussion and Marissa and Teresa to help with the chant. I think the words are in the order of worship. We'll sing it through together a few times, and then we'll chant it in between the words of the responsive reading. And when we get to that part, this side will sing with Megan and me, and this side will sing with Teresa and Marissa, and this will be the return side, and we'll be the earth, the water, the fire, the air. All right.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air.
Return.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air.
Return.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air.
Return.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air.
Return. We touch the floor to remember that wherever we bring our best self is holy ground. The earth,
The water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air.
we reach for the sky to remember that we are part of a mystery bigger than ourselves.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air.
And we hold hands with one another to remember that we are all connected and part of the human family.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air.
And we join our voices to remember that we have gifts to offer the world and that we use those gifts to make the world a better place.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. The earth,
water, the fire, the air.
Return, 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 return.
All right, thank you. This morning, our lesson is an interview with a member of our Troop Learning Garden team, Paula Trubisky. So Paula, please come up. Yeah, we're doing this today in honor of our 30 Days for the Earth. And connected in with today's worship theme, which is focused around compassionate action. So Paula, thank you for doing this today.
Nice to be here.
Okay. So Paula, what led you into Troop Learning Garden?
So 4 years ago, I decided that I would explore a spiritual community, which is something that I hadn't done before. And it was really out of my comfort zone. And but I had had a good experience many years ago with a UU minister that actually married my husband and I. And so I Googled UU churches near me. And I saw that Throop had a garden. And nature is the way that I get grounded. And it felt very welcoming to me that at least I could go hide in the garden if I wasn't real comfortable in the church. That's basically how I picked Throop.
Wow. And I love that you have your own special hiding place. And I wonder, as I look out at you all, who out here has your own special hiding place at Throop? Raise your hand. Lynn Sexton. Oh my goodness, look at this. How about over here on this side? Any of you have a favorite hiding spot? Barbara? Well, I'm going to be wondering now where to find you all when I need you. So Paula, later today in worship, we're going to be talking about ways to nurture compassionate action in our lives. And I'm curious, how has being in Troop Learning Garden helped you both nurture a sense of compassion, but also helped you deepen your spiritual life?
So I think kind of what I expected was, one of our 7 principles is that we talk about our interconnectedness with the earth. And I definitely was looking to go down that route. But the spiritualness and the compassion that I developed just by being in the garden, by listening to other gardeners, by finding out the history of the garden and what its intent was when it was originally created, brought that so much deeper than I ever expected. Like, for example, we have I know George was a big, one of the big creators of this. We have what we call a hugelkultur. It's along Los Robles, and it's where all the nasturtium are growing. And the intent of the garden was to use our resources wisely. And so that's one of the areas where by bearing organic material, such as logs, such as our trimming, so that we didn't put them in the trash and they didn't go to the landfill, created this area where when it rains, it's like a sponge. There is no water that goes to that area. And when you walk by there right now, it's as tall as I am, the nasturtium that are growing. Just kind of understanding that was, extremely valuable. And one of the things that I didn't expect is, as I became more involved, the garden gave back in a tremendous amount of compassion. You treat it well, it treats you well. And so one of the things that Tom Hopkins had taught me as we were harvesting, he would say, taste this. And the stuff that's grown because the soil is so nutrient rich is more powerful than what you get from the grocery store. I mean, you really, really can tell a difference. But there was other kind of unexpected ways. I think that, as we're talking about compassion, in the garden, I took the 7 principles with me, this garden was created so that it was a community engagement project with Transition Pasadena. And it was created to allow people to walk through, anybody to walk through. I think, I feel that, and I am able to, practice an equal compassion, of anybody walking through, which has been challenging at times. Something unexpected is I think we all get into our echo chambers, right? I come from one of those families that has not had a great balance because of we're in a time where people are very blame-oriented, and we don't necessarily agree about politics. And the garden, and as I wasn't a gardener when I came into the garden, that common language that I got from gardening gave me a common language with some other family members that was the way that we pulled together. And we started once again looking at where we had connections instead of having our differences. And that was a real surprise to me. I didn't know that would happen.
And if people's interest is piqued as they're hearing you talk about Throop Learning Garden, how would someone get more involved? And do you have to have garden experience in order to be in the Learning Garden?
You don't have to have any garden experience to be in the Learning Garden. I would say that one of the best ways to get involved is on the 4th Saturday of the month, and we always confirm this in our Throop tidings. That's a community work day. And it's not all about weeding. We can have teams together if you want to, be meeting people and you want to do a group project. That's great. But it's a time to come and actually talk with other people about some ways that you want to get involved. Maybe you like making bouquets. We've got tons of flowers out there, and on these garden work days or during the week, sometimes we're pruning crazily, and you can take those flowers and make a bouquet for the next day. There may be, you might want to learn something specific. Maybe you like to cook, and you want to explore our edible weeds or our edible flowers, and we can take you through a tour and do that. We had on our last garden day, someone was sitting in the back in the courtyard, and she came to help out as we cut and prune things. She took the leaves and she took the flowers. Jean, where are you, Jean? And she pressed them. And we're going to be using them today to some things found from the garden, some things found from the garage, to create some garden wings. So you might not know, we might not know how you want to become involved in the garden, but that coming on that Saturday is a great way to explore that. There's lots of people that are involved in the garden here. There's Michael, there's George, there's Charles, there's Jean. Who am I missing? Rachel. And if you can't come on a Saturday, tap me during the after service and you want to go out and wander through the garden, that would be great. Or email me.
Paula, thank you so much. She mentioned making food out of things in the garden. Did you know that you can make pesto out of nasturtium leaves? Did anybody in here know? She taught me how to do that, and you can make it with cheese or without cheese if you're vegan, and it's so delicious, and we have so much of that growing out there that I think maybe everyone's homework in here is to take home some nasturtium leaves and make pesto for yourself this week. But thank you. And Paula and Clara, who is another one of our devoted garden team members, they are leading the children's program today, and they will be making, as Paula said, angel wings, garden wings, butterfly wings, using some of the dried items from the garden. So thank you again, Paula. I think she's going to show an example. I told her when I saw that all of us may leave with them because we all want our own beautiful wings to wear. Yeah, and so each week we sing our children and program leaders into the program, and those words are in the order of worship.
For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be.
This morning's pondering is Angels by Mary Oliver. You might see an angel anytime and anywhere. Of course, you have to open your eyes to a kind of second level of seeing, but it's not really hard. The whole business of what's reality and what isn't has never been solved and probably never will. So I don't care to be too definite about anything. I have a lot of edges called perhaps, and almost nothing you can call certainty. For myself, but not for other people, that's a place you can't entirely get into anyway, other people's minds. I'll just leave you with this. I don't care how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. It's enough to know that for some people, they exist and that they dance.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. It's all right.
This morning's generosity moment is offered by Maureen Harrington, our beloved president of the board. Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you, Tara. Good morning. As president of the Board of Trustees, I wanted to wrap up the sharing of generosity moments from a personal standpoint, as well as from a Throop UU standpoint. From a personal standpoint, Gordon and I give generously to Throop because it is our spiritual home, and we feel an obligation to support it with our time, talent, and treasure. It is the sharing of our treasure, however, that keeps the doors open and the lights on, so we have a place to contribute our time and talent. In fact, Throop is so important to us that we have chosen to make Throop the top recipient of our donation dollars. Other organizations we support, such as the schools where we worked, and local and national organizations, don't add up to the amount we pledge to Throop each year. Throop is at the top of our list because it is that important to us. From a Throop UU standpoint, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to thank all of you who have made your 2023-24 pledge, as is signified by the orange poppy on your name tag, which I just got. And I want to ask those of you who have not yet made your pledge to please do so as soon as possible, so the board can better prepare for the coming year's budget to fund our ministries and continue the good work being done by so many. It is not important how large your pledge is. What is important is the consideration you give your pledge. What is important is where Throop exists in your life, how important Throop is to you. What is important is that your pledge is meaningful to you, that it reflects your appreciation for your spiritual home, that you feel it. We need your time, and we need your talent, and we need your treasure, and I thank you for all of it.
Thank you, Maureen. And if you would like to make a pledge, we have the pledge cards in the back of the sanctuary, and you're welcome to take one at the end of service. And we do support this congregation in so many ways, as Maureen said so beautifully, through our time and talent and treasure. And for those of you that are able to offer a donation today, we thank you for that. You can give online. Those ways are in the order of worship. And if you're making a gift here in the room and you would like your gift to count toward your pledge, we ask that you put it in a green envelope and then write your name on that envelope. Thank you for all the ways you support our life together. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Let this be a house of peace, of nature and humanity, of sorrow and elation. Let this be our house, a haven for the healing, an open room for question and our inspiration. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of freedom, guardian of dignity and worth held deep inside us. Let this be our house, a platform for the free voice, where all our sacred differences here shall not divide us. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let all in this house seek truth, where scientists and mystics abide with reverence here. Let this be our house, a place of our creation, where works of art and melodies consecrate our tender dreams. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace.
In a spirit of gratitude, we lift up those supporting the worship service today. Taryn for running the live stream, Marissa offering chalice lighting words, Richard and Michael on percussion, Paula and Clara with the children's program, Teresa and Marissa for helping to lead the chant, Maureen for offering a generosity moment, Wendy serving as a greeter and usher, Cynthia, our coffee and conversation host, Megan on music, and Hillary for administrative support. As we give thanks for the offering and thanks for all of the ways we support our Throop community life, I invite you to share the words of the response to the offering, and those are in the order of worship. For the ministries of the church and our community, we bless our offering with love and hope. And on this beautiful April morning, we turn our hearts toward our earth and the ways that our earth supports us, and we say together our promise to our planet. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part, with hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources. We promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself. Our centering hymn is number 292 in the great hymnal, If I Can Stop One Heart from Breaking, number 292.
If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin return to nest again, I shall not live in vain. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin return to nest again, I shall not live in vain.
I want you to take a breath in together, to gently exhale, to let your eyes close, focusing on the pace of your breath, being aware of your body. Awake, oh my soul, to the compassion of the divine deep within. Awake to its sacred flow of feeling and its strong currents for change. Be true to it in yourself and set it free in others. May our compassion give us courage to ease others' aching, courage to act on behalf of our earth, and to extend peace and kindness to ourselves. Awake, O my soul, to the compassion of the divine deep within. We spend a few moments in shared stillness, reflecting on the divine deep within each of us. And for all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
When I am frightened, will you reassure me? When I'm uncertain, will you hold my hand? Will you be strong for me? Sing to me quietly. Will you share some of your stories with me? If you will show me compassion, then I may learn to care as you do. Then I may learn to care. When I am angry, will you still embrace me? When I am thoughtless, will you understand? Will you believe in me, stand by me willingly? Will you share some of your questions with me? If you will show me compassion, then I may learn to love as you do. Then I may learn to love. When I am troubled, will you listen to me? When I am lonely, will you be my friend? Will you be there for me, comfort me tenderly? Will you share some of your feelings with me? If you will show me commitment, then I may learn to love as you do. Then I may learn to love.
Last December, I watched the film It's a Wonderful Life for the very first time, and I wondered, thank you, Garrison, how had I never seen that before, right, Maureen? How many of you have seen it? Some of you looked a little, oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Well, I did see a few of you did not raise your hand, so I'm glad I'm not the last one on earth to have seen that. Well, the movie opens with a group of angels up in heaven. There's a cacophony of human prayers surrounding them. And out of the din of all of these requests, you start to hear one name over and over again. And the angels sigh, and they decide this particular human must need a little bit of extra help. And so they look around, and they turn to one of the angels, Clarence, who's a little rough around the edges. Clarence has not yet earned his angel wings. The other angels describe Clarence as having the IQ of a rabbit, but the faith of a child. And so they deem Clarence is the perfect choice to send in to help this human, and if Clarence is successful, he will finally earn his wings. There's so many differing depictions of angels in our culture. We have angels like Clarence who are a little bit clumsy. We have those precious moment angels from the 1980s. I don't know, they had these in Arkansas. It's like everyone in Arkansas had them in their homes back then. I don't know if that translated across the United States or not. Okay, yeah, someone's saying, oh yeah, they did. There are the fierce angels in the Hebrew Bible, the angels that suddenly show up amidst thunder and lightning, and the earth starts shaking and everyone's cowering. They're so scared, and the angels have to say right off the bat, don't be afraid. We're just here with a message for you. We have our very own angel right here, 2 of them at least, in Throop, right up here in our beautiful, great west window. Jesus is in the middle, and to the left of him, we have Michael, who's considered the captain of the heavenly hosts, and then over to the right is Gabriel, who is considered to be a messenger of God. Mary is up there too. So these depictions of angels, what are some others that you're familiar with? Oh, Jean said on Christmas cards. Yeah, exactly, bringing good tidings for the holidays and for the new year. And Jen? Oh, and then Jen lifted up the angel of death, which in Jen's mind maybe hasn't always made a lot of sense. Yeah, thank you. Oh, Terry? Ooh, and then Terry thinks of fairies and pagan angels. Of course you do. And Brad, I saw your hand up. Oh, and then cherubs. Well, I went onto Google, thank you, because I was like, there's like all of these like levels of angels. And yes, cherubs are a type of angel. I don't remember everything Google said, but they're either this level or this level. So I'll have to look it up after the worship service. Okay, yeah, Cindy.
Spirituality within the animal life around us, except when humans decide they want to mess with our death.
Oh, and then yeah, I think Cindy lifted up the kind of spirituality in connection with animal life. Yeah, thank you for doing that, lifting that up. One too that I was thinking of in this past week, it's from the Wim Wenders movie called Wings of Desire, and there's that angel, the name Damiel, who falls in love with this lonely person and is just so in love that he doesn't want to be an angel anymore. He wants to be made fully human so he can experience the wide range of human emotions. Well, whether the angels who arrive are a little clumsy like Clarence, or powerful like the angel Gabriel, or yearning for something more like Damiel, they implore those they visit to not be afraid. to have faith, to keep on through the hard night. And it feels like we and our planet need some angels to show up for us, to give us strength, to help us face the tough realities of the climate crisis, to infuse us with courage and conviction to keep working for change. Almost every day we read news articles and we personally experience the effects of the climate crisis. Just a few examples are the Colorado River is drying up due to a combination of chronic overuse of water resources and a 23-year drought caused by climate change. Pasadena currently gets a sizable amount of our water from the Colorado River, and water levels in Lake Mead and Lake Powell, both reservoirs that are created by dams on the Colorado River, these lakes are so low that people are worried that soon the water level will be so low that it won't be able to turn the turbines there that produce electricity for surrounding communities. And of course, the intense winter storms we experienced this year, they came with increased frequency, one right after the other, which is because of our warming air due to greenhouse gases, and that air is holding more moisture. And there was so much flooding and damage causing harm to humans and wildlife. Southern California doesn't have the infrastructure to move those big bits of water all at once, and we experienced that here at Throop when some parts of our building and campus flooded with just the deluge of rain that was coming in. And then our summers are bringing longer, more intense heat waves. Last summer, we lived through a multi-day heat storm. This caused us to close the church doors on a Sunday because it was going to be 107 degrees outside, and we don't have air conditioning, and we realized that it was not going to be safe for any of us to come in here and sit together for an hour. Climate change impacts all of us. And we know that the more vulnerable ones among us, the ones who are living with the fewest economic resources, will feel the heat and the flooding and the health risks the most. So when will the angels show up to help us? Where's our Clarence? Where's our Gabriel? Where's our Damiel? We are praying for a way out of this. Can they hear us? Each April during our 30 days for the earth, we celebrate earth and recommit to ways that we can care for, heal, and bring peace to all creation. And this year, I'm asking you all to shift your own awareness of our earth. I know the stats I gave just a moment ago, that's not news for any of you. But I'm asking you all to think of our earth not as a thing or a resource, but as an essential part of us, as a living, breathing being that we're in kinship with. This idea of humans being in kinship with all creation is an idea that comes out of ecofeminism and eco-womanism. Both teach that the harms done against our earth, harms done against any person or creature, that those harms are all linked. And that undergirding those harms are interlocking oppressions of patriarchy, classism, racism, homophobia, anything that dehumanizes or diminishes any one of us. And underneath those are the cultures of domination, of capitalism, of growth at all cost mindset. Eco-womanist theologian Karen Baker Fletcher says that we must move beyond the notion that humans are supposed to dominate the earth. And instead, we have to learn to love the earth as we love our own bodies. She writes that to move toward liberation, to move toward healing our earth, we must begin by loving our bodies and our spirits deeply, by loving our neighbors, both human and non-human, in ways that are life-affirming and life-loving. As Unitarian Universalists, we're called to shift our relationship with all of creation, even with ourselves, because our faith is grounded in an ethic of love. And our way toward loving ourselves and loving our neighbors, toward loving our earth, is by nurturing compassionate action in our lives. Writer and teacher John Philip Newell writes about compassionate action in his book, Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul. And he writes, reawakening to our connection with earth needs to be grounded in action. It's not enough to see compassionately. It's not enough to feel compassionately. Compassion also needs to be embodied, both in the relationships in our lives and in the structures in our communities. So how do we embody compassion? Each and every one of you will do that differently in a way that feels authentic to who you are, drawing on the gifts that you have to share with the world. Earlier, Paula spoke about how her time in Throop Learning Garden helps her practice the 7 Unitarian Universalist principles. And Paula told us that the garden has been a place for her to explore spiritual growth and healing through understanding how to be a better partner with earth, and that through tending the soil, she is giving compassionate action to the earth. And she told me that the other garden members practice compassionate action with her because they remind her to slow down. And she said that the garden itself, which intentionally does not have fences around it, offers a form of compassionate action to our neighbors by offering them a place to come in, enjoy its beauty, to have moments of respite. And Mark, one of our newer Throop folks, is an emergency physician and climate advocate. And Mark sees the link between our changing climate and public health. Mark practices compassionate action by serving on the board of directors of Climate Resolve. That's a nonprofit whose mission is to champion equitable climate solutions. And Mark serves on the Pasadena 100 Steering Committee, which is urging our city to move to 100% carbon-free energy by 2030. Mark described his approach to practicing compassionate action. Mark said, I think it's easier when you try to stay close to your own lane. I like to educate about climate change's impact on our health, since I can digest and translate that body of knowledge. I also think it's important to keep trying things. It takes time to find your way because it's unstructured and broad, but persistence pays off. Both Paula and Mark, in their own ways, are healing and bringing peace to creation. Paula through her hands-on work in the garden, Mark through organizing and advocacy work. They're both grounded in passion, and they're also both grounded in communities and relationships. In Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul, Newell quotes a Celtic preacher. The cry should not be back to the angels, but forward to the angels. We must recover the ancient insight that all forces in the universe are extremely personal, are ultimately directed in the service of love. Let us not look to temples made with hands, but to this emergent, universal temple of earth and sky and sea. Where are the angels? You might find them anytime and anywhere, dancing on the head of a pin. Where are they? You know where they are. I am looking at them right here and right now in this very moment. I look out at the congregation and I see them in you and each and every one of you. I see it in the way you offer one another support and care through times of grief and distress. You are the ones who direct your energies in the service of love. You are the ones that tend to this temple of earth and sea and sky. You have already earned your angel wings. May you continue to use them in compassionate ways, nurturing a life-affirming and life-loving community. And let's sing together, Love Will Guide Us, number 131. And please rise as your body and spirit allow.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from grief to giving. Love will guide us through the dark night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. Love and change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has dried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from grief to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Place a hand on your heart and reach another into the room. I will soon extinguish that chalice flame, but its light will go with us. May love guide us toward nurturing compassionate action in our lives, letting our spirits soar, moving us to work for justice and equity for all. I love you all. Go out and love the world. See you in coffee hour and the ribbon cutting at 12:15. Amen and blessed be.